Every once in a while, I get myself into this position to where I am not having fun with music, not having fun making things, I'm not finishing things, and then I'm just like, I don't even want to get in the DAW because I'm not having a good time. A lot of it can come from a bunch of different things, whether it be stress, it can come from, I don't know, just being burnt out and doing this for too long, or maybe you grow and then your expectations for your output has changed. So for me, I've made a lot of videos about this in the past, and it's time to eat my own words and to just make something. I've done things as far as, make a start to finish beat every day for 30 days. I've talked about this in talking head videos, and I just haven't been feeling it lately. And so I think that what I'm going to do is try to get myself to refresh. Right now, you're looking at Atlas just kind of rebuilding itself so that way we can walk and talk while this is going. But I'm going to try to just do an intro, a main section, an outro. We're going to be working with very simple elements, maybe do a little bit of melodic resampling or something just to get a vibe. And then I'm going to call it. And I think that this is important to do and also important to give yourself permission to write bad stuff, as Chi would say, because a lot of times you might end up writing more crap than good stuff, and that's okay. For me, I think that what my goal of this is to be is just to enjoy what I'm doing and to be like, hey, like, you know what you're doing, man. Just relax. It's cool, bro. So with that out of the way, if you are into this channel at all or something of the sort, then be sure to like and subscribe, and let's go ahead and get a kit together. Let's cook. I'm going to just get up in 808, and man, this is going to be very simple. And if you're brand new to music production, this is going to help you out a lot because usually I make this process way more complicated than it needs to be. If you don't know Atlas, it is something that is an AI thing that will help give you some kind of kit. I'm just looking at this and I can already tell, like, I'm looking for a kick that I'm actually going to want to use. Like, not that, maybe. Not that either. Uh, that's kind of cool. Okay, sick. Let's go ahead and refresh this. All right, this is perfect. So now that we have this kit, we can go ahead and lock this in. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to build some MIDI here and just process the kit entirely and just use it as that. And then I'll talk about what I want to do next. Actually, I lied. So one thing that I am going to do is I'm going to go to the channels here and go to sequential. And I need to come onto this guy and set these to add the extra chains. So we'll set that to channel 1. Set that to channel 1. It's going to make sense here in a second because when we get to this guy, the note receiver here, we need to tell this to not go to the replacer, but rather go to the drums, go to the fundamentals here, which is, we'll actually send this into the Atlas, something like this. And then on the drums here, we can toss this in this and go like this and have its own thing. And then we can have the replacer on this guy on channel 1. And so what I just did, and the reason why this is significant, is because if you do this, then you can set up your sidechain to go to the replacer only. So that way, whenever I hit stuff, you'll see that now this is only going to trigger this MIDI. So, but it's not everything, right? So that makes things a little bit easier in the long run. Cool. So now that we have that, let's maybe do something at like 63. We can kind of go for something a little bit trappy or something. I already know that I'm going to want snares on the 2, so and then we can up this. And then we can start here. That is not what I wanted to do. Let's make this 1 bar. And then we can set this on the 2 and the 4. Please work with me. There we go. Okay, so now that we have that, we've got some other sounds here. go ahead and make these a little bit early. Just a little bit off. And don't know what happened there, but we can copy that. Make sure there's no doubles. And then what I'm working on right now is to just try to find a groove. And get to something that could help me kind of get a vibe going. It's making everything a little bit late. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is take all of these and make them a little bit bigger so that way they're going to be a little bit easier to move. And then what I'm going to do with the rest of this stuff is try to cycle through some of it. So okay. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Let's go. What was that noise?
Yeah. That's kind of cool. Cool.
Take this.
Oh, I wanted that last one. Wait. I don't think that says a memory thing, but that's okay. So now we can kind of just play some of this stuff. Yeah. Is that Kirby? Cool. So now that we got something like that, it's really easy to work with, which is great. So the first thing I'm gonna do is we're gonna just try to make this a little bit bigger. Sick. Okay, so that sounds pretty good. The only thing that I need to fix on this is this guy, because that's a little bit much. So and then maybe these guys as well, to try to just get a little bit of dynamics here. So what I'll do is I'll grab the velocity and grab this and go a little bit of chaos. And then I'll just turn them all down by a little bit. Also, that cash out sound needs to be a little bit lower. So what we can do is we can grab this and kind of set these to go like so. Nice. So we got kind of like this roller slash lo-fi thing, and what we can do now is go and get some kind of bass. So we need shaper table. Envelope. I'm gonna keep this very simple. So give it some saturation. So pretty easily we can just kind of make a very simple pattern. So So I'm going to adjust this just a bit and see what's going on here. So cool. I also think that this guy, which we can actually... Where is it? There it is. We can go back and EQ this individually, which is cool, but that is so sharp, so we need to kind of adjust this just a bit. I'm gonna add a flex chorus. That just kind of makes it a little bit softer. All right, so now that we have something like that, what I'm going to do is just mess with this, and we are going to have some fun with kind of just jamming out, I think. I could set this to a melody. I don't really have a melody in mind, so I'm just going to grab a key filter, and for the sake of doing something fun, I'm going to set this to D. We'll set this in minor, and that's fine. And then what I can do next is grab something like Polymer. One second. And so what we can do to kind of enjoy this and have a good time is kind of just... Sorry, that's a bit loud. Kind of switch this up to different stuff. Okay, so within this, what we can kind of start doing is just recording this out and then letting it play, and then I'm going to start to add effects over this over time. So I actually really like that, so... All right, so within all this stuff, what I'm going to do now is just set up a random thing. Just move that through the index. Set that to be a quarter, a half note. And what I can do is maybe play around with this just a little bit, set the polyphony to 4. And then I'm just going to start doing stuff just to kind of have some fun. So... Let's go ahead and replay that again. Some cool stuff in there. Alright, cool. So now that we have something like that, this sounds kind of cool. And so now I've got some options to work with in order to try to find something that I'm going to actually want to do. So something that might be kind of fun is to go into quantize and go to quantize audio and set that there and see what that does for us, if anything. Okay, so I kind of hear something in here that I think is really cool. I'm not really sure. See what that sounds like. And where do I want that to be? So you hear it though. I can hear it anyways. So maybe what I can do is try to quantize this again, but maybe to 1/8. Maybe simplify the melody, so like this. Let's move this out of the way. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so now that we got something like that, we're going to duplicate this times 4. And we are going to kind of make a copy of this, kind of like so. Oops, we don't need the original. But what we can do is maybe just have this bit crushed. And then something that I thought would be kind of cool is have a reverse sound or something here. So I'll just take a piece of this. Get this up and going. Take that. Reverse. Command J. Right, reverse again. I hate that it does that. We're gonna make this really short, and then we are going to go down and then up, see what that does. Cool. Now we can go. Sick. All right. So now that we have something like that, we can. Is there a big crusher on that? Oh, it's from the fuse compressor. We can kind of switch up the drums just a bit. So pull off maybe some stuff from there. So from this, maybe pull back off of this stuff and kind of just variate it just a bit. So like that's not supposed to happen. Why is it doing that? Oh, because it's looping there. That's different. I've never seen that happen before. It's nice that you can loop a smaller amount, though. Maybe something right here to where we can kind of... Almost, not quite. Okay, so the spirit of that is there, but we're gonna add some other stuff to this. So I think what I'll do is just grab a hi-hat now. And we can throw that in the pork. That way everything is still pretty clean. And what we'll do with this is maybe just make this a little bit louder. Maybe not by 12. Let's see what that does. Create some hi-hat rolls. and just try to create a relationship with this stuff. So cancel. Nice. So oh, I really like how that does that. And then we can put a roll right there. So that way there's a little bit of a comeback to that. So but really that's part of the fun of working with hi-hats, is like trying to create this dance behind them. So okay, so right there it's too much, it doesn't really work, but maybe right here we can kind of do something like this. Almost. We need to finish out that idea, so I guess we can kind of just borrow from some of this stuff. And we are going to do like some pitching and whatnot too, but I'm not really too concerned about that right at this moment. It's more about the rhythm of this, so. Cool. What we can do right here is go pitch and move that up. Set that to slice mode, set that to off. Grab this, stretch that out, reverse that, so. Sweet. Let's go ahead and right here we can kind of pull this back up and do something different. So like a maybe we can split that up. Instead of doing a double kick right here, we're going to do a different kind of fill. So I'm just going to bounce that and then hit reverse. Maybe what we can do is place this inside of the percussion. And then we'll bring back that cool little cute sample of whatever that was supposed to be somewhere. Maybe we can do like a super drill right there, but make it really quiet. Hey, that'd be really cool if you could latch. Okay, it's not going to do that. All right. Jeez, brother out. Let me make that a little bit shorter. Duplicate that, pull that off. This doesn't have like a hook yet for this part or whatever, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do now is probably just run this through the mill. And how are we doing on time here? I'm curious. Am I in an hour yet? No, I'm only in 37 minutes. Okay, cool. So now what I'm going to do is do just a touch of resampling. And oh my gosh, what am I doing? We need a delay. We need an extractoire. Actually, you know what? I have this rack saved called Drum Mangler, and we're just gonna use that. I'll talk about what it is, but minus maybe the heat, but it's disk tube culture, Pro R, cluster, disk tube, gate, transient, fuse compressor. Basically what this is designed to do is just destroy things. And in place of the effects too, we can just use something like the filter plus. And what I can also do is warp this to where that's on. Maybe set this here, grab one of these guys, and make this move in different positions. Without this, make this jump as well. Make that jump. That's on free, that's okay. We need this like quarter note. But what this will do is just give us a lot more variation through making this move around and stuff. But we've got the cluster delay on here. I think that I am going to do this one by hand, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and then we can kind of use this stuff to just get some different things. I'm going to turn the master down though. But this is in theory just going to give us a lot of different stuff to play with. So cool. Now that's not bad, but maybe with this, something that I can do. Actually, yeah, I was thinking about trying to create something tonal with this, but I think what I'm going to do instead is we'll bring this back up. I'm going to turn this off. And on this, I'm going to just kind of stretch this out and see if I can either A, find some cool sounds, or find a loop that I can just like pitch up or down over time. So the whole point of doing this is to try to get something that is going to create some kind of weird tone. And we can kind of force that in some ways. It's not always the best way to do this, but yeah. So what I can even try is, let's bring this here. Let's pull that there. And I'm going to bring these effects here to the instrument. Okay, something happened with that. That was supposed to come here. Wait, what? Why is it doing that? Okay. This is going to hopefully work. Oh, maybe that's why. Just one. There we go. Okay. I can grab these guys, pull that there, turn that off. Set this in C. Change the speed like this. And I don't know. Now we can just kind of mess around and see what this does, but okay, cool. So So with this, which is pretty cool, is we can start to kind of mess with this. What happens if we make this... I kind of like the... So what we're going to do with this is try to make this kind of a little bit more interesting by setting some stuff on here to make it like... Yeah, maybe like a transgate or something. And so what we can do with this is we can filter this in. Cool, and now what we can do is kind of just let this play out for another 4 bars to kind of have some fun. So what I'll do is see how that pans out and see if that's going to sound interesting at all. Cool. Which I like that. And maybe what we can do is set this up over time, kind of like so. And then grab this and make that pitch up. So now one of the last things that I'll do is I'm going to put one of these guys in. And I'm pretty sure that this is in D. So within this, we can kind of set this to loop back and forth, maybe increase the length. And now we can kind of just record that in, so. We can stop that there.
Recording to logbook.
Thanks whoever did that for following. Maybe what we can do is I'm just going to do a quick quantize to this and see what happens if we change this into textures mode. turn up the grain. Just kind of fade that out. And so we've got a few different parts to this that did not have any neuro bass in it whatsoever, which is like really hard. And I think that's where I get caught up so much, is just trying to make like heavier music. But when it comes to this stuff, it usually comes pretty naturally. But now that we kind of have everything together, we've got an intro, we've got a couple of different sections here that is kind of cool. Has a couple of like moving parts in it with different things. This is just meant to, you know, be a beat that we can add detail and stuff to later, but we have the skeleton with very few elements. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a quick listen through, and it's got a nice little groove. And then feel free to leave questions or comments in the section. You already know where to go. And one thing I was going to say is that even though today we used Atlas for drum processing, I actually just recently came out with a course that teaches you how to make all of my kinds of drums from scratch, like literally scratch. And then I go through and teach you how to make stuff from anything. We didn't really use any of the Requiem stuff, so I feel bad about even advertising any of that, but you can find all my samples and all that stuff at alchemy.com. So without any further ado, which is what I said at the beginning of the video, let's go ahead and take a listen to this, and then I'm going to call the video. Do you guys like this kind of like start to finish 1 hour format beat thing? See what I can do? I think that it's something worth trying once in a while, or something that I could start as a series. Does it need to be edited? Let me know. Please have this conversation with me, because I'm kind of out of stuff to cover. Like, I've taught everything I know. Right now, we're just like, it's time to make music. Not bad for 50 minutes. Yeah, so even though this needs transitions, it needs, you know, different effects, it'd be really cool to have some kind of acapella over this or something. We can go into a different variation of these guys, which is making a dynamic beat, and then we can roll over and somehow try to tie it back into the main riff that we have. But even still, we have a beginning, a middle, some stuff going on in between that's like a switch up between a couple of different sections or whatever. That's kind of cool. Maybe if I wanted to do anything different, I could kind of have, instead of the roll like this, we can kind of just have that crap out, kind of. Yeah, so giving some space and a little bit of contrast right there, or even doing like a pitch drop right here could be super useful, and just dropping that down. So and then then maybe even to kind of just add a little bit of context to this, as this would likely be the chorus, we can maybe take this and stretch this out or something. And then I like this sound, so we can take that and pitch that up by 12. Then we can take that back. And I'm not really even concerned about this kind of being off key, if you can tell. But what we'll do with this is move this to a new track and then find something to smear it. Maybe like with a mid side or something, and kind of just give a little bit of context to this. So and what we can do is just smear it with something. So maybe like a, oh, let's use delay plus and do something like that, except I'm going to move this over to the side and then I'm going to listen to this. Final touch, we're going to add a little bit of vinyl crackle. Fade that out. Put that in the beginning because everybody loves some vinyl crackle. And there we go. We've got a beat sketch that was done under an hour. So yeah, I find that I actually enjoy doing this, and it was a lot of fun. And I actually, the hardest thing that I struggle with was actually the part that came easiest today, which was getting to some kind of hook. But I find that if you can kind of just do some kind of jam out like this and then sample yourself or whatever, then you can come up with something relatively easy. Something that is kind of hard to do though is to like bring up the energy. And when it comes to writing bass music, it's just been so tedious that I just haven't really been wanting to do that. Like I want to do that, but when I actually sit down and try to write something bassy, it's just so hard to pull off. So shout out to all you people that are able to make really heavy bass tunes with, you know, big drums and all that stuff and whatnot. So anyways, thank you all. Be sure to like and subscribe. Let me know what you think of this video, and I'll see you in the next one.